This is Star Wars in Character, the podcast that takes a closer look at some of the characters in the Star Wars universe you probably never noticed. Backstories, histories, and details you never knew, wanted to know, or ever need to know. Now here are this week's panelists of Star Wars in Character.
Hello and welcome to the special Star Wars Holiday Special.
You're just so happy.
I got through it one time, man. Today I'm joined by our panelists. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
Oh, very cool.
That's a good. Is that from a listener?
These top 4 are, yes. Okay. All these are.
So,
and he gave me these at the right time.
So we can expect them to be good?
Yes. Episode 2, Matt Tack of the Clones.
All right.
Episode 3, Revenge of the Christ.
What's that last word?
The Christ.
Christ.
Try to do it right. And in honor of our special episode, the Star Wars Holiday Special. And guess what, Holiday?
Yes?
You're going to be the one who's going to drive the bus this time.
I would be more than happy to drive the bus on this.
Tim crashed it. No, I'm kidding.
Fantastic endeavor.
I thought you were going to say you'd be happy to drive the bus over this DVD, then back, then over again, then one more time, just to make sure it was broken.
That's a tauntaun tap dance.
I instantly regret my choice of making that for you.
This lumpy clap. I just love seeing it and hearing it.
Look at Lumpy.
Well, we're going to be graced by Matt's very own concoction of the holiday special soundboard.
Mm-hmm.
Special soundboard, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, it does say that. Yeah, special soundboard.
Oh, really? That's probably actually a typo, which is kind of funny.
Well, I guess before we get into the actual nuts and bolts of this turd, let's go through the 4 of us and see if we had seen this before, and if not, I mean, and I'll go first. I've seen this before. As big a Star Wars fan as I've always been, I had never seen this ever, and I can't say that anymore.
Oh, yes.
What about you, Tim?
To be honest, I did not know of this show's existence until I was probably around 20 or 21. It was around the time that the special editions came out that Chris and I and you started going to conventions. And I remember going by those bootleg video tables and seeing that there. I had no idea what it was. And this was before I even had a computer with the internet. So I remember just buying it for like $20 and then bringing it back, to, I believe Chris and I watched it, and we were both just dumbfounded.
I think it's just naked or something.
We were both completely naked and dumbfounded.
Is that the first time you saw it too?
I don't remember. I think so. I don't remember seeing it back then. I probably. Tim's probably right.
What about you, Matt? I mean, have amongst the 4 of us, any of us, like 4 or 5-year-old kids, know this is going to be on TV and we're allowed to stay up late and watch it? Did you see this before, it became a bootleg DVD?
I absolutely did. I saw the airing of this.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if this is a fabricated memory, but I think I have a pretty vivid memory of asking my parents, say about halfway through, asking them, did I have to keep watching this?
That's good.
And your mom said,
oh, yes.
Wow, that's...
hopefully not like that, though.
That's disturbing.
Well, if you're listening out there, I assume if you're listening to this, you've seen this Star Wars Holiday Special. And if you haven't, it's online, right, at this point?
Yeah. YouTube has a whole has a bunch of copies, but somehow someone has the director's account and has the whole thing from beginning to end in one file as well. I don't know how that is still on there, but it's there.
Okay. Or you can watch it in pieces on YouTube.
There's several different postings of it. Yes.
So if you haven't seen it at this point, maybe stop listening now and go watch it so you can kind of go through this with us and join in on the fun. Because if you haven't seen it, we're going to be talking about some specific things about this movie. And if you haven't seen it, you gotta see it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a must see. I mean, I don't think we're going to say much good about this, if any, but as a Star Wars fan, I mean, if you're a big Star Wars fan, you just really need to see this just to, if you and chances are you already have, but it's something that everyone does have to see, I think. And I can't really tell you why, but I don't know.
And I was always mad at the fact, huge Star Wars fan, everyone kept on making fun of this thing for all these years.
Right.
And I was like, it's Star Wars. Why is it, how can you do that? And now I know.
Right, yeah.
When I picked up the video of it, we got it on VHS, I had heard someone had said something to the effect of how horrible it was, but I was kind of like, there's no way it can be that bad. I was thinking it was going to be so bad it's good. And you can get through about the first 10 minutes of it laughing, hysterically at it. And then after that, you realize, oh my God, this thing still keeps going on. And it really is so bad that it's just not good at all.
Right. Yep.
It's god awful.
All right. And the DVD copy that we all had, thanks to Matt, even had a quote on it. Is this a real quote from George Lucas? If I had a hammer, I'd track down and smash every copy.
I believe it is. I did hear that before.
I've heard before it was on there, and I don't know where. I mean, I haven't obviously heard him say it in any kind of interview or anything, but I've seen that posted more than once.
It's been credited to two different events. When he went to the 10th anniversary of Star Wars at some convention in 1987, and that came up, and he said something to the effect of that. And he also did an interview, I think, with like GQ around the time that Revenge of the Sith came out, and he commented on it, basically saying a similar statement.
Okay.
For once, I have to agree with that creative decision.
You guys are on the same page?
I know. It happened. It was bound to happen.
And it took the holiday special.
Well, it's a Christmas miracle.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, I know I have questions as we're going to go through this, and I know that Tim is still our resident expert in all things at least the holiday special. So I asked Tim when this exactly aired, and what was the answer, Tim?
This aired one time in the United States and Canada on November 17th, 1978.
Okay. And it wasn't like The Wizard of Oz and they showed it every year, once a year kind of thing?
No. And I can guarantee you there were some pissed off people because this preempted The Incredible Hulk and Wonder Woman on CBS.
You mean Hulk and Wonder Woman fans were mad?
Well, I mean, this took the 2-hour block that those two shows took up that night. So those two shows were preempted for the Star Wars holiday special.
Right.
And this seems really early. Now, I know nowadays there could possibly be Christmas specials on in September, but for back then, this seems really early for a holiday special. I mean, I recall most of any other holiday special when I was a child starting after Thanksgiving. For this to be a week before Thanksgiving seems really early.
I think you're right, but now I think you're right.
Yeah, now it's nothing, but back then.
Who knows when that started, when they really started pushing the holidays.
Right, that's true. Yeah, maybe since I wasn't actually spending money on holidays back then, I didn't notice. Now I notice.
Well, I was thinking in watching this, and not to, I don't want to gloss over a second of this
yeah,
thing.
please don't.
But when you get to the end and you get to the Life Day celebration, I was kind of thinking that celebration seemed a little bit like Thanksgiving to me more than Christmas.
Happy Life Day.
Could this have been a Thanksgiving? I mean, it's just because it's the holiday special. It doesn't have to be Christmas. Maybe it was a Thanksgiving thing.
It looked more Thanksgiving-ish than anything.
Really, I got both out of it. I got the whole Life Day, and not to jump to the end, but just to answer your question, the whole Life Day celebration thing where everyone was together in a room and kind of singing, for lack of a better term, reminded me of a Christmas Eve type of deal at a church. And then the dinner certainly reminded me of Thanksgiving. So I thought they were going for both holidays wrapped into one.
They probably didn't know when exactly this was going to air while it was in production. So I think they were purposely nondescript when trying to come up with a Star Wars themed holiday.
So
is that why they have like no dialogue in the first 12 minutes and just Wookiee grunts?
But I was fascinated just in trying to figure out when, like my first question was like, when did this come out? I wonder what the response was then. I don't know if they have ratings from back then, but to me, like, was Star Wars still in theaters, or was it out of theaters by the time this was on television?
Star Wars was in theaters almost all the way up until the release of Empire Strikes Back, from what I understand. They kept putting it out. I know there's that famous poster, Star Wars 1 year ago today with the birthday cake, just for the year anniversary re-release. And then coming up on the holidays, again, this is before the big holiday movie rollouts that we've seen since the late 80s. So Star Wars was probably put in limited screens again for Thanksgiving and Christmas time as well.
Okay. Because even as it starts, the thing that struck me right away is there's like this stock footage of the movie. And to me, that must have been like a big deal in 1970. Like, this is before home video. Like, Matt is now, as a young kid, seen the movie in theaters, and now he's watching scenes from the movie on his own television. That to me was a huge deal.
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It started out great up until the first commercial break. I'm assuming I'm trying to relive. This is what, close to 35 years later. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I'm sure the first bit up to the commercial break, it had me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine it didn't.
Because right after that, you get this, it's the recreation of the Falcon cockpit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It looks
tiny.
It looks tiny.
It looks a little small.
Yeah, it's made out of cardboard.
Looks a little painted.
But at that point, man is right. Ford and Mayhew are good in those scenes.
Yeah.
But Han is like so totally different in this whole thing than he is in any of the movies. He's much friendlier to Chewie. It's almost like he cares more in this. He acts totally different in this.
Look at Lumpy.
Even that he sounds all nice,
Hey, the holidays bring out the best in people, man.
Ah.
He's like a totally different guy.
He is. I never seen him so lovable towards Chewbacca, like in the movies.
There is a creepy scene. We'll get to it. I'm just going to save that comment until we get to that part.
Oh, yes.
Well, there's that one too. Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad you had that on the soundboard. I really am.
Yes.
But they go through, the whole cast is in there, and it's the people from the movie, which I can't believe they're in this. And
this was probably really thrilling to hear and see when you're a kid.
I was gonna say, we had this discussion before, like during a warm up before recording. We were discussing this, and I think Chris said that he was really surprised they did this. But think about it. They were nobody really when they did Star Wars. And sure, this is a year and a half later. They're somebody now, but they probably got signed into all kinds of stuff, when they were absolutely nobody filming this B movie that, that they really probably didn't, one, have a choice, or two, they weren't post Empire, post Jedi yet. So it probably was more work to them.
Yeah.
It could be either or, A or B, or C, all the above, or I'm not sure where I was going with that, but I think you guys know what I meant.
No, I know totally what you mean.
Okay.
And it goes through all of them, and then even I thought that it was weird that they go through them, and I guess it's just trying to be funny, but they say and R2D2 as R2D2. Right. Did people not know that Kenny Baker was in there?
He's probably pissed off after that scene.
Like, to me, that was like, it was almost like there was like this illusion that they were trying to keep up.
Oh, yes.
I thought, watching it in this time, I thought it was like, oh boy, here we go. First cheap TV laugh is already in the credits.
Sponsored by General Motors. I thought that was funny. Like, they just kept, that was the sponsor. Like, how did that do for their business?
Right. There's actually a copy of this whole thing with commercials on YouTube. I have to go through and see how many of these products and companies no longer exist.
That would be
the one that I bought. I had actually purchased it twice on video. Was the Baltimore version of the of the thing, and it had all sorts of neat commercials. It had an action figure commercial at the end. It also had a commercial for another toy called Tobor, robot spelled backwards. Those were two commercials I remember from it. There may have been a McDonald's commercial on there too as well.
That would be cool to see.
Yeah.
I just don't know how General Motors stayed in business after this.
Well, they did need to get bailed out 30 years later.
Did you tape, Dave, how long it took for someone to start speaking?
I did.
Oh, you did, Matt?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
After Han Solo says its last line, it's 12. I don't have the seconds, but it's 12. It's a 12-minute mark before we hear the first word of English again.
It seemed longer than that. Damn it.
It did. I thought it was going to be at least 20.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it's amazing. Whose brilliant idea was it to have a TV show where you couldn't understand anything anyone was saying?
I was reading that Ben Burt. Ben Burt was actually enlisted to create the Wookiee sound. So he actually went to a zoo and recorded different types of bears. So he
I don't remember hearing that at a zoo before.
But he had I think an hour's worth of bear sounds to work with.
Well, you didn't need to play them all at once. Chris, play that first. Oh, you are okay. Play that very first sound.
Oh, the most annoying sound ever?
Yeah. One, that is the most horrific, god-awful sound I've ever heard in my life. And two, it reminds me of the trailer from Dumb and Dumber. You want to know what the most annoying sound in the world is?
You're right, though. They do sound more like Tauntauns than Wookiees.
Well, this one here.
Well, so imagine how much work Ben Burt saved himself for Empire doing this.
And you know what else sounded like to me? And I kept thinking of them the whole time. They sound like Julia Sweeney. It's Pat from Saturday.
God, yeah, it does. Yeah.
One thing I thought was cool though is how they were carving like X-wings, making those little models ships.
I didn't know. I thought they were just toys.
I thought they were X-wings.
Oh, they did look wooden. You're right. I didn't really pick up on that they were carving them, but you're probably right. It was something like they were making them. I thought they were, like you bought them at Wookiees R Us or something. They're all made out of wood.
They were carving those things. But later on in the show, you actually see him with a really, really awesome Bantha doll.
Yes. Yeah, I did.
And that Bantha doll is better than anything I've seen since. I don't think they made a Bantha doll that good.
Yeah, the guy rips the head off of it and then he takes it and puts it to bed.
that was an awesome. Yeah, that was like, oh, I want that.
Yeah,
that's where you cried.
I didn't cry at all. I cried because it was terrible.
Yeah, I cried a lot during this.
I laughed once, and I want to see if it has nothing to do with Star Wars. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, well, let's get into these people then. You got, like Matt said, as soon as Han Solo is done talking, it's just nonsense. You got Mala, who is Chewbacca's wife, right?
Who I did not know until a little bit of IMDb investigation. That's a dude.
Yeah, I saw
that. Which
that.
makes sense, obviously. I mean, it makes perfect sense. It'd be easier to cast a very tall man than a woman, but I just assumed it was a woman under there, which makes later scenes just even worse.
Like when Peter Mayhew's hugging him at the end, caressing his face.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right, so Itchy is the grandfather. Now, I was one of the questions. Is this Mala's dad or Chewbacca's dad?
Chewbacca did.
I think it's Chewbacca's dad.
Okay, because Han Solo comes back at the end and he's talking to Itchy and he says something like, your son's, doing you proud out there. So this Itchy is Chewbacca's dad?
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, but he looks so fucking evil.
He's old, man.
It's creepy. It's very scary looking.
He is scary.
The mouth and the teeth.
It comes over his nose almost.
I got a lot of problems with Itchy. He's like an abusive grandfather.
Oh yeah,
he's horrible to that
kid.
Kid.
He's terrible.
And Lumpy.
Or a tauntaun.
Now, are these like shortened names of some like longer Wookiee names?
Yes.
Because to me,
Lumpy is at least.
What is Lumpy short for?
I don't remember. I'm looking it up though.
Because Lumpy and Itchy Like Mala, I'm fine with that. Like seems like a extraterrestrial name, but Itchy, he doesn't itch at all.
Maybe Itchbaka and Lumpy Aka.
You know, it's okay. Whew. All right, this one's gonna take. It's gonna take a minute. At Ichukuk, at the Chutukuk, I think is Itchy.
You chewed your cock?
I think
Something
I
like
can.
that.
I think I can.
Yeah, that's all right. Now Lumpy, this one's gonna be just as bad from what I remember. Oh no, this is actually very stupid. Lumpa Waru. And if I'm saying that wrong, sorry, but that's the best you're gonna get out of me.
Well,
Look at Lumpy.
he reminded me very much of Chaka from Land of the Lost.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, their whole dwelling was very Land of the Lost, and even at times very Flintstones. That fireplace was straight out of Fred Flintstone's living room. I'm telling you. And well, even before you get to see all those people, there's these drawings. The drawings of Kashyyyk. Now, when I looked at these, I immediately said, like, these cannot be Ralph McQuarrie drawings.
They didn't look that good.
They are.
They are.
Oh, sad.
When Chris and I went to Star Wars Celebration down there in Orlando, they had some Ralph McQuarrie concept art for the holiday special.
Yeah, and that I saw. I mean, that was one of the things I went to see was that Ralph McQuarrie room, and I remember seeing those.
That's unbelievable. They're just they're horrible.
No, actually, but the artwork itself is really good. This is artwork that's being transferred to video, then being rebroadcast, and now you're watching a 30-year-old copy. So it's the original artwork is very good. It just got, by the time it got to broadcast, it got all kinds of, I don't even know what, I don't know if compression is the right word for 30 years ago, but certainly what we're watching has been compressed and recompressed and over again. So the actual artwork itself is good. I would venture a guess that the broadcast probably looked like shit as well, but what we're looking at is not a very good quality.
Okay. I couldn't believe though seeing these that like they look exactly like the episode 3 Kashyyyk dwellings. Like they must have used these drawings that's all these years later for episode 3.
That's what was neat about it, where you could see that in episode 3. Years later, they still go, here, how about this?
Yeah. I did think that was cool because at least that was something that was relatable to Star Wars instead of Land of the Lost and no subtitles.
Oh, yes.
And Mala in her kitchen with her apron so her hairy boobs didn't catch on fire.
I didn't see them. I was looking too.
You were looking?
I was looking.
It's because it was a dude.
We are excited, aren't we?
It was.
All right. Well, and then there's the scene, and I did like too. As soon as I saw that chess table.
All right. Well, the chess table was.
Well, but it wasn't cool.
What was on it was not cool.
Well, what was on was not cool.
Okay.
The fact that the chess table was there, it was like, oh, this is how Chewbacca learns how to play chess, and he's doing that. Whatever. It's not chess. I mean, I don't know what the hell it is.
It's kind of like it's kind of foreshadowing our own future. It's a multimedia unit. It's like it's like a PlayStation 3.
Right.
You can play games and get entertained. Well, you can attempt to get entertained on it.
But it was like the thing that's in the Millennium Falcon with the, let the Wookiee win, that whole scene. Like I saw that and I immediately thought that it was going to be that kind of game. In fact, I watched it with my son and he was like, when these dancers start coming out on the chess table, my son even was like,
Dad, what the hell is
where are the monsters?
Right.
I mean, you got the music on there.
You know what's scary about that little scene is that little dance number or whatever? Yeah, that thing. That is exactly like every performance of Cirque du Soleil I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well,
so relaxing.
Well, there's Bob Mackey. I saw the costumes for this. He's like an award-winning costume designer.
Not for this.
All right. So when Lumpy's watching the circus or whatever it is on the chess table.
Yeah.
And everything starts coming through on these little computers that everybody speaks English on. And
they're hidden behind,
I do want to say something about Lumpy watching that real quick because it bugged the hell out of me. The scene where Lumpy's eyes were following the one acrobat or gymnast and his eyes were just a little bit ahead of what was going on. I found that so frustrating because his eyes probably would have matched. They just didn't line it up in editing. It's like, oh, you got it so close. You just needed to shift it a little bit. But I don't know how hard that was back then. And I know digitally, you just slide this thing here and this thing there and you're done. So I don't know how hard it was, but it's like, oh, you were so close, but you didn't do it. Why did you get so close? Why did you, did you think no one would notice? God damn it.
Maybe it was a repeat and you already saw it.
Maybe, yeah. He wanted to see what was about to happen.
All right. Well, that leads into when your next major cameo by one Mr. Mark Hamill.
You don't know where he is?
What did you say?
He's with R2 in his orange flight suit, and there's some situation going on with his wig and makeup.
I thought, yes. You know what? I told Dave this earlier tonight. I had no idea. I mean, I always knew he looked kind of like girly and feminine during this one scene, but now I know why he looked like way, and now I feel bad.
Oh, was it right after the accident?
It was like weeks.
Oh.
And that's why he looks nothing like he did in Star Wars.
Okay. So this is post-car crash. It was
like
was it a car accident?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, weeks.
Oh, ooh.
Really, really, really close.
And everybody, most Star Wars fans are told that's why that scene with the Wampas written into Empire Strikes Back, because he had this scar on his face.
Right.
And if you're to believe all that's true, they decided to just cover it up here with like
really bad.
A lot of foundation.
Right.
You don't know where he is?
Okay.
He looks like a mannequin. Is really his face is. There's like it's so porcelain almost.
He like gives this weird smile at the end that looks so frightening.
So I'm guessing he's wearing a wig too. They must maybe had to shave his head to do the surgery or something, because that's got to be a wig.
Yeah, it doesn't look like his real.
It's bad. It's like
some Tatooine hairdo,
like some page boy haircut, and it's super blonde.
Yeah.
That's disturbing.
I feel bad.
You know where he is?
Not that bad, apparently.
Well, the thing that I didn't get out of that whole scene, other than his appearance, is how does he understand them? He's talking to them and having long conversations in, as I learned on this show, Shirawuk.
That's right.
That's right.
When did he learn this? I mean, he didn't know this. And
I agree. He always turned to Han and said, "What's Chewie saying?"
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. And that led to my most major question. And I don't know if you guys know the answer to this.
Why am I watching this?
No.
Oh.
How long after episode 4's events is this supposed to take place?
I did see that. I forget. I did see this.
Does this fit into a time frame?
It probably does.
Because after watching the whole thing, especially from something that happens at the end, this does not and could not possibly fit into any Star Wars time frame.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Because if this is supposed to be after episode 4, A New Hope, they get their medals. Yay! What the hell goes on between episode 4 and 5? Like, shouldn't they be building a really elaborate ice base right now? They should be carving tunnels out of ice and domesticating tauntauns and inventing the snow speeder. Like
they should be evading bounty hunters on Ord Mantell. I mean, that's
Sunday.
Cultivating John Ratzenberger's mustache.
It's a day of rest. This is Sunday. They're all just chilling.
I'm sure we could really work this out if we wanted to. I'm to be honest, it's not in me to figure this out right now.
Well, this and something that happens, especially at the end. To me, this whole thing cannot possibly fit.
Okay, that'll be interesting because I can kind of, without going into much detail, I can kind of fit it together. I can see how this would work, but I want to see what you say at the end and then see if that changes my mind.
All right, unless I'm just
if you pick a 2-day time span. I mean, it's easy to fit in 2 days, but I want to see what you're going to say at the end before I.
So you think this is only supposed to be a couple of days after the Death Star's been blown up?
I think it's actually almost real time. Oh, you mean a couple of days after the Death Star blew up? I'm sorry.
Like where? I mean, they don't say. I know they don't give you a lot of information on this stuff, but where is Luke when he's making this broadcast?
You don't know where he is?
No, I don't.
Well, he could be, they could have, while they're scouting out places to move the base, they could be in some kind of safe haven, making sure, getting the ships in the best condition they can for the long haul to where they're going. That's easy enough.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, I'll stick with it for the time being. Luke is a dick to R2.
Yelling at him and stuff, yeah.
He can't do anything right. I mean, all R2 does is like save his ass in that Death Star trench a couple of times and give his head for the rebellion. And
Whoa,
Luke's just
okay.
What was that, dude?
What did you say?
Luke's a jerk. Except when he says to Mala, "Come on, Mala. Let's see a little smile."
And that's when he smiles. And his whole face shines.
That was disturbing.
It was disturbing.
Is that the smile?
Yeah, that was a smile. He gave this weird smile. You had to just look away. Turn to stone.
Come on, pussycat. That was sick. It's almost like there's something going on there.
That was a little...
Wookie Wookies. All right, let's talk about Wookie Wookies.
Wookie Wookies?
Art Carney.
Art Carney.
All right.
Respected entertainer for many generations.
I laughed at.
Art Carney?
Yeah.
All right, we're talking Ed Norton. Not Ed Norton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that Norton?
And did he not win an Academy Award for like the Sunshine Boys or something? And now he's hugging furry men in suits.
Oh, yes.
And Harvey Korman. Was Carol Burnett still on the air in 1978?
I don't know.
Because he was somebody, at least in the late 70s. Well, he does the cooking thing. It's supposed to be like a Julia Child kind of infomercial.
But you know what's weird?
He looks like Mrs. Doubtfire.
He does it first. And then later on, I see Dexter Jester.
What?
Of the forearms.
Oh.
As soon as I saw the forearms, and I want to say maybe chef cooking thing.
Here's an interesting question. Is that maybe Jabba's cook that Malakali runs off with eventually? Because he's supposed to be a woman, isn't he?
I didn't even think about that.
As soon as the fourth arm appeared, I thought of Dexter immediately. And maybe, I don't know, maybe they had the idea.
Maybe?
Four-arm person, from this movie, maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
See that?
You did your homework.
Oh, yes.
Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir.
Stir, whip, stir, whip, 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 stir, beat.
You forgot.
Unbelievable. And what did you think, Matt, as like a 5 or 6 year old kid? What were you doing now?
At this point, I'm probably playing with my Star Wars toys, waiting to get, because I'm sure my father was probably one of the people that was upset that the Hulk and Wonder Woman wasn't on. So I probably was already feeling bad that I'm watching this after, probably some kind of, hearing a tirade about those two not being on. And now I'm playing with my Star Wars toys, probably trying to get the nerve up to ask if I can turn the channel.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Stir, whip, stir, whip, stir, beat.
All right, and then shortly followed after Chris's favorite part, Diane Carroll and
what the hell is this?
We are excited, aren't we? We can have a good time. We are excited, aren't we? We can have a good time. Oh, yes.
What?
I can feel my creation.
Yeah.
Yes. You know what? Shit, I wrote that. I wrote down here in my notes, Wookiee porn.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Kind of right there.
Life Day Machine.
well, okay, so Itchy puts on this thing on his head.
It reminds me of the thing from Strange Days.
Right. It almost looks like an old-fashioned like hairdresser's machine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now,
yes.
let's not forget that this Wookiee porn was a gift
Yeah.
from Art Carney.
The
Right.
old perverted Uncle Arnie.
Yeah.
Which his shirt was unbuttoned pretty low down too.
Yeah, you're right. That was a little weird too. I'm
I
like,
saw a
dude,
lot of like
give
navel hair.
give the
Sometimes.
guy a freaking t-shirt for God's sakes.
It was the 70s.
Oh. Well, he
So
was in his 70s. That doesn't mean he's got to dress like his 70s.
So this is basically he's watching porn.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's not just watching it; he's experiencing it virtually.
Hands the whole time.
So he's like a dirty, and he's not a dirty old man. He's a dirty old Wookiee.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And is this like something that's being broadcast to him, or is this his fantasy in his mind that's coming true?
Yeah,
I took it as a fantasy.
Me too. It's like a virtual reality wish generator type deal. Is how I took it.
Then why is he human? Why is he
That was going to be my question. I was like, yeah, what's that all about?
We are excited, aren't we?
It's like what? When you're 5 or 6 and you're watching this,
Yeah.
like who greenlit this?
I don't remember. I
know?
didn't remember this aspect of it at all. At all. This was like totally new to me.
It wasn't comfortable.
Again, yeah,
Yeah. This is the point. I remember watching it and thinking, what the hell is this? I mean, it takes a crazy turn midway through and there's no return from it.
You're right.
Your mind is stuck on this for the rest of the rest of the show.
And I watched this with my son,
Oh no.
and I remember my wife hates.
Your wife walked in and said, "What are you guys watching?"
Well, she hates Star Wars, and she was doing something. She was looking at her laptop, and she caught these sounds.
Of
and
course, yes. That's where they. Yep.
Oh, yes.
And she kind of, I'm sitting on, and I didn't know. I mean, this is the first time I was watching it. She kind of looks at me at the corner of my eye, and she goes, "What are you watching?"
Like you're sleeping on the couch tonight, buddy.
and then Dave put his hand in his pants. What? Nothing. Look away.
Close the door.
We are excited, aren't we?
Well, you know what this was? This is the Lawnmower Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
right.
That's exactly what this is. Where's Pierce? And just Fahey.
Who is this girl? Like, was she popular back then?
She
Diane
was,
Yeah.
Carroll. She was
famous?
like a Broadway actress, and I think she also did some film work. But I know she was a famous stage actress and recording star in the 60s and early 70s.
We can have a good time. Oh.
What was that at the end? Was he done?
And
started.
completion.
You all done now?
all right.
Oh, I
So,
cleaned this up.
oh,
Did you make some?
Before it dries in my fur.
and then Lumpy's like in the same room, along with a bunch of other people too.
That's how I do it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. I got company.
All right. Well, so
All right, time to leave, people.
C-3PO and Princess Leia. Oh my God. C-3PO and Princess Leia show up on one of these little TV sets, and she can't understand them. Luke can understand them, but she can't. And she said, "Mala, it's so good to see you in the Wookiee Ookies." And how the hell do they even know each other?
Wookiee.
Now, you said Luke was a dick to R2.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
So what's the word for her?
Yeah. She looks like, she gives him a look like, I am going to slap the shit out of you, you metal fuck. I mean, that is the look on her face in one shot.
She sounds so fake too.
Happy Life Day.
Well,
She don't give a shit about them.
Happy Life Day. Where's Han?
She just called them walking carpets like 2 months ago. You know? Or
I have that exact freaking thing written down. Like, she's so into Life Day, and it's like, I'm gonna sing at your thing, and not how, maybe 2 weeks ago she's saying, get this walking carpet out of my way, and not long after this she's gonna say she just as soon kiss a Wookiee. Like that's the thing that pops into her mind is the worst example of something you could kiss.
Happy Life Day.
And here she is, Mala, it's so good to see you. I'm going to sing. What a...
If you call that singing.
That note is so hard.
What a two-faced...
Yeah?
Happy Life Day.
Shut her off. I don't want to hear her anymore. I sound like Han Solo. I don't want to talk to her.
Celebrate a day of peace.
She's a political figure that has no home. So now all of a sudden she is sucking up to everybody, but she's such an ingrained politician and I guess in a sense royalty that she just can't pull it off with any sincerity is what's going on there.
I like that explanation. She's a politician.
Yep.
Okay, I'll accept that because otherwise she's just a jerk. Like
Happy
I
life.
like that explanation too. She's just a jerk.
it runs in their family.
Yeah.
My father had it. I have it. My sister's a jerk too.
Especially the droids and animals.
All right. Well, so and right after that, to me, I don't know how you guys are gonna feel about this, but I actually enjoyed the Jefferson Starship song.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
I didn't mind it.
I'm with Dave. I like it.
Yeah, that's...
Me and Tim are knee deep in the hoopla.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I will say the first time I heard this, I was like, what is this shit?
Yeah.
And when I was watching the DVD a couple days ago, I was actually laying there, like, yeah, I like this.
Little
Were they
air drumming and yeah.
Were they like the top shit like that month or that week or something?
I have no idea.
I don't think Starship was that Jefferson Starfish.
Starfish.
Jefferson Jefferson Starship was that huge in the 70s.
This is well before we built this city. So I'm not sure what
I think this is like a lull in their.
I love that song too.
They weren't even Jefferson Starship with "We Built This City." That was Jefferson Airplane.
No, they're a Starship. They're just plain Starship.
Well, what is this one called?
This is between that. This is between Jefferson Airplane and Starship.
Starfish, Dave.
It's Jefferson Starship.
This is like
this is when they were transitioning from a psychedelic, LSD band, trying to make it as an arena rock group
without Grace Slick.
And then when Grace Slick come back,
I like the song.
I
didn't mind it at all. I mean, in fact, if this was available on iTunes, I'd pay 99 cents for it.
Is it, Matt?
I ain't even gonna look because I already feel bad enough that Dave spent time on this. I'm not gonna spend money.
No, I like the song and I like the bassist. He did the whole Spinal Tap Harry Shearer.
I did like the glowing microphone.
This song was the first single off of a greatest hits collection for Jefferson Starship, and when they put it out on a 7-inch single. They actually, because I guess they thought that this show was going to be huge for them, it actually promoted at the bottom as heard on the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Well, that certainly explains why only one of us or two of us knew who the hell they were.
I like the song. To me, at least, this was. I didn't hate this part. So thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
I still don't know why. I still don't know why that guy's watching it.
Yeah.
These Imperial officers.
The Imperial officer. And since I thought like there was an Imperial mandate to be clean shaven, all of a sudden they got these big bushy mustaches.
I said I'll take it.
Ooh. They're just lounging about the apartment, watching TV.
Pointing guns here and there. There's no like shooting blasters. It's just they point at the gun. Okay, all right.
Very strange.
I said I'll take it.
Like this whole thing is basically a variety show. Like that was
it
huge.
is. Yeah.
It was huge in the 70s, right? Like I expected those solid gold dancers.
Oh, that'd been awesome. I'm Darth Cornelius.
All right, so then the King of Cartoons comes out, and it's cartoon time.
Yeah.
Now, this part is the part that I guess always gets a lot of attention, so much so that it's on the Blu-ray, right, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, it's hidden. Yeah.
Just this part?
Just this part, yeah. I thought the holiday special would be on there somewhere, but
You really thought that?
I like buried hidden behind
No.
whatever. Yeah.
Or did some other podcast tell you that was going to happen?
No.
And once again, they were wrong.
No, I was hoping, if so much shit's on it, that Blu-ray somewhere.
All right, I'm counting on Tim here to shed some light on this, because this to me, I don't know how you feel about this, I was entertained. It, to me, is the best part of the thing. I think a lot of people probably feel that way, but I got a lot of questions about it still, too.
All right.
It starts out with this narrator. Who is this guy?
You know what? I can't find much information on the cast of the cartoon.
Okay.
So the narrator there, it's unknown who actually did that voiceover work.
But his name, he has a name. He says it at the beginning and he talks at the beginning and the end.
Captain
and his name is
something or other.
Captain Kazan.
Oh.
And to me, you've done all these characters like this. To me, not that we need to do another episode on this thing, but this to me is like maybe one of the most obscure Star Wars characters ever. The guy that is reporting this crap in the Star Wars Holiday Special, Captain Kazan. Did someone write a backstory for this guy?
Probably.
That I don't know.
And he starts it out Starlog 32041. Like, isn't that Star Trek?
Stardate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Watch it,
See,
Dave.
I don't watch Star Trek.
Starlog is a magazine.
Yeah, Starlog.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like a series. I mean, did they make more than this?
Not that I know of.
Because just the beginning and end of that, and there's like some kind of, they almost look like Japanese. Is this a Japanese drawn cartoon?
No, worse. Canadian.
Canadian?
I take offense to that.
Because they put up some kind of thing. It almost looks like Japanese characters. Is that just supposed to be like Star Wars language?
This is, I guess that was just the look. Nelvana Productions out of, I think, Vancouver or Toronto actually put this together. They're the same people that did Rock and Rule, and I think they did a lot of work on heavy metal.
Okay, that's where the familiar look must be coming from for me. Okay.
So some of the voices, like the guy does Boba Fett, is a guy by the name of Don Franks, and he's worked on all those Canadian shows like heavy metal. Inspector Gadget, I think, was a Canadian cartoon, and he did voice work on that. And he also did voice work on Ewoks and Droids, which were, I believe, also done by Nelvana. And Nelvana still exists. They're still a production company, I believe, in Toronto.
I guess now that you say that, it did have that heavy metal look to it. The animation was interesting. I found it was very fluid, and I thought it was Japanese. Some of the stuff in it is totally wrong. I mean, C-3PO's eyes open and close, and
R2 bends and folds back and forth. I saw it.
And Harrison Ford is not a voice actor at all.
He's had a voice. Yeah, he's had a voice.
He was good.
It sounded like they just woke him up from a nap.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's not a voice performer.
Once.
Well, they woke him up from the sleeping virus, is what they woke him up from. He sounded drunk. Somebody must know something. The stormtroopers were way off. The stormtroopers looked horrendous.
Yeah.
But as soon as they started, and the guy, like, this, it got me laughing immediately because they're looking for a mystical talisman.
Oh, just like the Gamorrean Guard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
never even occurred to me. That's how much I purge these episodes from my brain each week.
The mystical talisman, like the one Jubnuk had in the belly of the Rancor.
Just because you're invisible doesn't mean you don't get digested. I don't think that's the same one.
That's true. Like, this is like the Clone Wars of the 70s. And it's the only time you ever see Luke in a Y-Wing.
That's true. And I didn't know the Y-Wing cockpit ejected into a land speeder.
I didn't know that either. Yeah.
No one did.
I liked the animation, though. It was very smooth. And then Boba Fett comes out. Now, this is the first appearance of Boba Fett, right?
You are foolish to waste your kindness on this dumb creature.
Colors are a little off.
A little bit. Well, but it's the first we see him, so maybe the argument could be made the movie colors are off.
Touche.
At this point, I think Joe Johnston's original design was still white.
Okay.
Those early models that you see for Boba Fett, he was white. So Nelvana may have taken it upon themselves with some creative license for Boba Fett.
All right. He's the weapons are a little different. He's got that pitchfork.
Yeah,
the tuning fork.
Yeah, it did look like a tuning fork. And still had the dent on his helmet.
Yeah, I saw that.
So this is all, pretty accurate. But it even had the Wookiee braids, which I thought was kind of cool that Boba Fett and Chewbacca were together. But didn't Chewbacca notice the Wookiee braids on his?
Wait a minute. That's lumpy.
Itchy did have male pattern baldness, or that's where he pulled him from.
Yeah, and I did like this part, but this whole thing does not fit into the Star Wars timeline, especially special episode. If you're going to take into consideration the special editions of Episode 4, Boba Fett and Han are in the same room, and he's like, oh, it's our friend Boba, and he's all cool with him. Well, he wouldn't be cool with him because Boba Fett was in that scene with Jabba when he was asking him about the money.
You are foolish to waste your kindness on this dumb creature.
But this was Itchy watching a cartoon broadcast. This was someone's interpretation of events that may or may not have happened. This could have been a serial. This wasn't real life, Dave.
Okay, so someone is drawing cartoons of his dad.
Yeah, on
This was CBS, Chewbacca Broadcasting System.
Right, there you go.
I like that. And he's described as Vader's right-hand man. The whole thing I found entertaining.
Oh, yes.
You're stuck on that.
I am.
All right, but then it gets worse. It gets much worse. Because now the stormtroopers and the Imperial gunners and all these people are just hanging out at Mala's house.
I know.
They're for some reason in the middle of this occupation forced to watch a training video.
He said, I'll take it.
On life on Tatooine. How
Was it a training video? I thought it was a soap opera.
They said training video.
Oh, they did? Oh.
They made an announcement. They said you're everyone now will watch this training video entitled Life on Tatooine.
Holy shit.
Like this is supposed to like depict life on Tatooine to them.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I missed that.
I think I did too.
They said it.
I
watched
believe
this
you.
thing 3 times.
Why?
How long is it? An hour and
37, I think.
hour and 37 minutes? And I don't think the people that did this whole cantina scene, which I was fascinated by, I think I watched this even extra times with B. Arthur. I don't think any of these people even watched Star Wars.
How the hell did Punda Baba grow his arm back?
Yeah.
There was Greedo, who you thought was Greedo, but later she calls
called
him
him what?
Ludlow.
Ludlow, yep.
So that's not Greedo.
I didn't like how the costumes looked like they were like from the movie. Like they weren't like, like remade or something, It looked like they were right there.
Okay.
I think they did use many of the original costumes and masks from Star Wars for this scene.
They had to call Richard Pryor and ask for him back.
Yeah, that's I wrote that Richard Pryor thing down too. What was that on, and what did that have to do with?
What, the Richard Pryor thing?
Yeah,
that was the Richard Pryor show. That was he had a special before he had a series, and that was on the special. But I don't know if that was before or after this.
Okay, I wondered where that.
I actually have that DVD set. So that was the very first. You could say the very first Richard Pryor show, even though it was a special before it was a series.
Okay, because that's funny.
Yeah, it is.
We have to put that up on our Facebook page.
But he was using a laser bat.
So dancing the 2-armed Ponda Baba, and then
doing the fucking chicken dance, whatever the hell he's doing.
I don't.
Yeah, that's what it looked like he was doing.
And where is the keeper? Is this is this his sister?
We don't. Who said that this is the same cantina? It looked different to me.
It did. It looked smaller.
That is true. I did write down, could this be a different cantina?
That's right. This is what will later become the Crystal Moon.
Yes.
Harvey Korman's character comes in and buys it with Malakali because she has to shut it down, as we're going to find out very shortly.
Stir.
I'm telling you, that's her. That is the cook. I'm now convinced.
Telling you. Dexter Jester.
Well, and then Harvey Korman shows up again. Like, he's the Eddie Murphy of this production. He's like
Hercules.
7 different characters, and he comes in, and she does her song. And the thing that pissed me off is that it's set to the Cantina song. And
just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams.
That is
like
the one place I don't want her to show up is in my dreams.
It's like there's words to that Cantina song.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. And she never said the phrase mad about me. What the hell?
That pissed me off. that she was singing to that song. And
what about when Carrie Fisher was singing? That didn't piss you off?
Well, they weave the actual Star Wars theme into that song too.
Yeah.
What the hell? Matt, what did you do?
How did I get blamed for this? I didn't make it. I did have this stupid idea though, didn't I?
You said it.
He knows these copies.
Yeah, I really went all out this time.
And the Biff, she says goodnight to them and they speak. You never hear them speak in any of the movies, do you?
Nope.
Mm.
It was cool to see the costume.
It was cool. That's the coolest part of that little scene was all the costumes.
But I didn't want to see Maude. You're a mess.
An interesting thing about this cantina scene, the snaggletooth guy, they gave him a name. His name is Zutmore. But the packaging, the original vintage figure packaging, actually featured a photo of him from the holiday special.
That is interesting, actually.
So technically, that snaggletooth figure could be considered the first ever Star Wars holiday special merchandise.
Well, when
Chris, what does it say on there? Use sparingly.
Okay.
When we did our tournament on Facebook of the most obscure characters, that guy was used in the tournament. It was Zutton or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was just the name of the guy from. They just named the guy from the Creature Cantina scene. I didn't realize it was from this.
But the picture used on the package is from the character from the TV show. It's very clearly a production shot from the holiday special.
Cool.
It's kind of funny.
It is. That's kind of neat. All right. Well, Han
Dave, you're all over the place, man. You're saying, "Oh, that's neat. I like this." Why are they doing this? That's stupid. I can't read you on this one.
This whole thing has me very bipolar.
Okay.
There's parts of this that I actually do like. I can't say that this was a total waste of time.
Why? And you watched it 3 times?
Yeah.
And you still like it?
I'd watch it again.
No matter how much time you've wasted on it, Dave, I've wasted far much more getting ready for this episode.
That's true.
It's pretty classic when B. Arthur does jazz hands with Greedo, though.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Ludlow.
Ludlow, yes.
I'm not saying it's good, but it is, like we said, like, you got to see this.
You do.
Once.
Yes. I agree.
That's it.
I mean, you got to own this. You got to,
yeah.
If you're a completist, you got to own this.
I was happy that, Matt, I have my own copy now.
You do? Where are you going to put it? Right next to your Star Wars?
Yeah, my Star Wars DVD collection, yeah.
Wow, it's getting put right in there.
It is.
One of the characters that shows up, I think he shows up for the first time here in the holiday special. The brainy guy, the guy looks like he has a gigantic brain.
Yeah.
He actually became a real character in the Clone Wars. During the season premiere of season 3, he plays a clone bounty hunter trainer. This brainy guy.
What, the guy looks like he has a brain on the outside?
Yeah.
He was in New Hope.
Was he?
Absolutely.
I thought I recognized him. There's a couple of people that I didn't, like the bouncer, who it seemed like, what was B. Arthur's?
Oh, yeah, he was like the only other human in there.
Was he human?
Well, I mean, the only unmasked guy.
He was a humanoid.
He didn't have a mask on.
Because she seemed to, like, what was her name? Agmina?
Oh, I don't know.
Agmina, yeah.
Agmina, she kind of had a thing with the bouncer. There was something going on there. A little something.
Oh, yes.
They're going to go home with Itchy and watch some.
Oh, boy. That's just a furry mess.
Well, Han and Chewie get to Chewie's house, and there's a stormtrooper there. They throw him off the balcony, and the Wilhelm scream.
Yep.
Is that when you laughed?
No, we missed it early on, which makes me. I'm like, who cares now?
No, go ahead.
It was the part which I think when Ed Norton, is that the guy's name? Gives the guy, he sits him down to watch this thing, and he does the Ed Norton gag.
Which one?
Where he takes a long time getting ready
to find his ID.
Yeah, no. He's like trying to get it ready. And
that was right before he made him watch a the Jefferson Starship thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, all right. Like he does he's like takes his time getting something.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It was a honeymooners gag is what I laughed at in this movie.
So you're laughing
at the honeymooners, not at this
exactly.
piece of crap. Okay.
What the hell's a rerun?
I said I'll take it.
That was my little laughter.
All right, so Han and Chewie come in, and there's
Look at Lumpy.
Yeah, there's like more of Han's weird behavior with the family. Like he's so friendly.
The way when he says goodbye to Chewie, the way he hugs him around his waist. Holy crap!
Like Tim and I do when we see each other.
Exactly.
It was nice.
I slept with my bedroom door locked that night.
His head went on his chest.
Yeah. That was
rubbed it a little bit.
And you never get that sense, like as Star Wars goes on, especially by the time you get into Return of the Jedi and Han gets unfrozen from the carbonite and Chewie's in there and he's like, I'm all right, pal. And they kind of hug. They have that moment. That's like a nice moment.
Yeah.
But they're not there yet as far as this goes because in Star Wars, he was treating him like crap. And and now they're hugging and caressing on the balcony.
Yes.
And look at Lumpy.
Look at Lumpy.
I think his voice is changing.
His voice has changed, like Peter Brady.
I think that's what he was telling Chewie to look down at his Lumpy.
Look at Lumpy.
Is that what he calls it?
He does. He does.
The part that I thought was weird is, isn't Han sort of like Chewie's owner?
Yeah.
And he's like...
Chewie owes him a life debt.
But isn't there like a slave-master kind of relationship there?
Not in that Falcon.
Because now he's there hamming it up with his family. Like, the only reason he's not there with his family is because of Han. Like, I know they have a life debt and all that, and that's great. But couldn't he cut him free from it and let him stay home with his family?
He did.
He did?
Yeah.
When?
Because he left for a little bit.
But he's at the end.
There's many times this is way before the expanded universe of the books. But there's many times in the books where he's tried to, but Chewbacca's always the one who hangs on because it's apparently up to Chewbacca to decide when the debt's over. So I guess if you really wanted to retcon extreme here, you could say that Chewie's the one that's not letting himself leave Han's side right now.
Look what he's got to go home to.
Oh, that's true, too. Would you want to hear that fucking noise from that damn kid the second you walked in the house?
Honey, I'm home.
An annoying kid, a mannish wife, and a horny dad.
Oh, yes.
And the VR machine's always being used by his dad.
Sticky.
You get the Life Day celebration with the red robes.
I know why they did that.
Why?
Wasn't there around 40 Wookiees?
Yes.
And then this?
And I swear to God, I have no proof of this, but I swear that some of those don't even have Wookiee masks. They just have stock wigs and they're shot from behind.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. And they did that to save on costumes.
Really?
That's I'm guessing. I didn't even notice Matt's theory.
When I saw it, I was thinking you never see many of them turn around to see their face, but I was thinking it was just lady wigs.
Well, that makes sense with the whole idea that even Return of the Jedi, the Ewoks were supposed to be Wookiees, but they couldn't even do it for that movie because it wasn't cost effective. Why would they spend the money on this?
Yeah.
You must be right. They look like Planet of the Apes with those things on. And why are the humans there? Like, why are they all there? If this is a Wookiee holiday, what the hell are they doing there?
I don't know.
Wait until it's over.
Where are they, though?
Joey.
That's the thing.
They walk through space.
I know.
They're in orbit. Yeah, they're walking into the sun.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're all going to walk to a ball of fire and die? Happy Life Day.
Will you light the sky on fire? Will you light the sky on fire?
I was waiting for that.
He's have to keep playing that, so Tim has to keep hitting that note.
We're going to lose Tim's voice by the time we record the next episode. Tim, give us some facts about Captain Tarples.
Yeah. Luke doesn't have any other clothes. He's wearing the same damn clothes he wore the whole damn first
I guess
movie.
not. He can't pull him over of his face.
No, he left him on the Death Star when he got in that Stormtrooper outfit, and then they blew it up.
Yeah. How did he get those clothes back? Where's his yellow leather jacket?
Yeah, man.
Oh, wait, no, he did. Yeah, you're right. He did change on the Death Star. Damn it.
Know where he is?
I don't know where your clothes are.
What did you say?
Where he is?
What did you say?
That's awesome.
All right, and she sings, speaking of Tim hitting a note.
We celebrate a day of peace.
That hurts. That is so bad.
It hurts.
I can't sing worth shit, and even I'm listening to that going, God damn, girl, shit.
She looked good though.
But she looks like she's giving it 110%.
Yeah.
She does hit some notes. It's that one.
It's that one. Yeah, no, it's yeah.
She can sing half decent.
The rest of the song she sings okay. I don't like the song. That's a different problem. But she sings the rest all right, except for that one note. And ugh.
All right. Well,
Are we done?
why? You sick of talking about this?
I was mad watching it. Now I'm mad talking about it.
All right, and then you get to the end. All right, before the credits, we got more stock footage from the movie. And this brings me
He's
all
like
back.
thinking. Isn't he like thinking back?
I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah,
and
what is that? That is weird.
because the clips feature Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a hot for Obi-Wan.
We are excited, aren't we?
That's why I want to know, like, when
Look at Lumpy.
when does this happen in the Star Wars universe? Because with the clothes that Luke's wearing, especially the X-Wing jumpsuit, and it's almost like this is supposed to be taken. Is this supposed to take place during Star Wars?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's not like when I saw the Obi-Wan, I was like, is this supposed to be happening now?
No, I think he's just remembering all he went through the past year,
Yeah,
and he's giving. That's what he's grateful for in Life Day is that he survived all that.
Happy Life Day.
Okay.
I pulled that right out of my ass.
I hope you're right, because otherwise this makes zero sense whatsoever.
Oh, that makes zero sense. The rest of it makes perfect fucking sense.
Well, it makes more sense.
Okay, all right.
I thought he was frozen there, not even looking, blinking. He wasn't even moving, just thinking back. It was week or a year.
Yeah, it's a year. It's
So
like
he's not-
it's like it's the opposite. Of, I don't even know what the fuck. I can't do this anymore. I don't know. I'm trying.
He's not thankful for his wife and his kid.
Would you be?
Would you? Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth.
You notice they're not standing up there with him at the end. It's just him and all the Star Wars cast.
And he still gets
That was his life day wish, is to his family disappear.
Yep.
All right. Well, did you see who wrote this? I mean, a lot of people
I
wrote
saw
it.
one name and went, "Are you fucking kidding
Yep.
me?"
I know who you're.
My least favorite center square on Hollywood Squares.
Jim J. Bullock,
Bruce Valanche.
Bruce Valanche. That's not the one that stunned me.
I know the one Matt's talking about. A personal hero, probably. Of
Was
Mr.
Really?
Pat Proft.
Yep.
I did see that.
What the
Who's Pat Proft?
Pat Proft. He helped write the Naked Gun movies and Hot Shots.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
I can't believe this exists. I can't believe I watched it three
But
times.
there's no spoof. There's no kind of like spoofiness.
That's the thing. It's like, did Pat Proft, was he in charge of the comedy that I missed? Because that's really sad.
Yeah.
I got nothing else on my sheets. I just went through 4 pages of notes. But I will say this. I'm not sorry that I watched this. And
Oh, yes.
if you haven't seen it, I'm not saying that you're going to like it, but I don't think you'll be sorry that you've watched it if you're a Star Wars fan too.
It's a good
Yeah.
ride.
the guy who directed it, Dave, Steve Binder or Binder, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. He is responsible for some of the greatest moments in television, in rock television, and also some of the most embarrassingly, horribly bad moments. He made a career out of doing like variety shows and things of that sort. So he is responsible for giving us the Elvis 68 comeback special.
Really?
Yep. But he is also responsible for the Chevy Chase show back in the 90s.
Oh, no.
and the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
This guy has had a fascinating career then.
Yes.
That 68 comeback special is a lot like this, because there are scenes where it's amazing and it's great, it's beautiful, and then there's variety show acts, and then there's some really cheesy maudlin stuff in it. It's kind of like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. He for this episode, I had put out interview requests to so many people that were involved with this, because I was just trying to talk to somebody that had something to do with this to find out some behind the scenes information. I sent an interview request to Steve Binder. I sent an interview request to the guy who was the voice of Boba Fett, with obviously no response. I have a feeling that most of these people just want to pretend that this never happened.
I think they got a cease and desist letter decades ago.
Wow.
Now,
what
I was going to say about agreeing with Dave, I think it was definitely worth watching. The very first time, as I mentioned, when I saw this, I wanted to turn it off, and that was when I was freaking 5 years old. The second time I've ever watched this is when Riff Tracks put a track out. You guys know what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so even then, it took me like three viewings to get through it, because it's like, okay, they're making it funnier, but still, it's just the material they have to work with is only so good. So that took me 3 settings to get through. Watching it this time, saying, what can I find in this that I can talk to my friends about and cut up with, my friends about, which is essentially what we're doing and what we just did for the past hour. This is the best time I had watching that. So I think if you go into this thinking, what can I get out of it that I can, bullshit with someone else about with, I think that might be the way to go in watching this.
Yeah, exactly. That's a swarm of bees, I'm telling you. Get a bunch of buddies together, get a few beers, and just sit down and just bullshit your way through it.
Yeah.
You'll have a good time watching it. What was that?
Where's your daddy?
Where's your daddy?
Where's your daddy?
Where's your daddy?
Hey, what does he do?
What does he do?
That was the only part my wife laughed at watching this, was when he said that.
Oh, I can say that my life is much richer for having seen it.
I'm glad I could be part of that.
Man, I think your website should be your awesome soundboard.
Oh, I guess it could be. It was going to be Star Wars Holiday Special.com, because why not? It's, if you missed any of the detail, well, actually, no, they don't really talk as much about this. Well, they do talk about the story. For, I guess, if you would want any more information on this, there is a site called StarWarsHolidaySpecial.com that has behind the scenes pictures, the full list of credits, different. Their most recent post is they actually scan the actual treatment. So this is like essentially the pitch someone gave to get this produced. So it's got some interesting stuff on it. More of the behind the scenes than we talked about. So if you're inclined to learn more about it, that's certainly a source.
I would love to.
Well, there you go.
I want to know if people got fired over this.
I don't know if it has that kind of info, but it may.
Yeah, I want to know the ratings. I want to know the fallout from this, because it's just I can't even wrap my head around this thing that we just talked about and that I watched 3 times.
There was a lot of merchandising that was supposed to go along with this. There was going to be a Wookiee storybook that featured Itchy and Mala and Lumpy. They actually even did some mock-up Wookiee action figures for the family.
Wow.
Which were basically the prototypes are listed on this site.
Yeah.
I would do anything for an Itchy action figure.
The Mala figure is pretty funny because it's basically a Chewbacca figure with boobs.
Well, isn't the Itchy one just like Chewbacca but painted gray?
But painted gray, and then there is a mini Chewbacca, which is supposed to be Lumpy.
Yep.
Which is a Chaka action figure from Land of the Lost.
Yeah.
Tauntaun soundbite.
I wonder if they toyed with, and maybe there even is, like in episode 3, there's all those Wookiees. I wonder if they toyed with just throwing them in there, either as a tribute or
Easter egg or
a
something.
joke, an Easter egg, whatever. I mean, to me, that would be just like the best thing. I mean, I would love that.
That would be the
Walkie-talkies?
Lucasfilm has tried its best to distance itself from this at all costs. It very rarely will even mention it. The only time that it has ever gotten a quote-unquote official release was, well, when it was first shown, and I guess 3 years ago, they showed it for 1 week. You could stream it for 1 week on StarWars.com.
No shit.
Yeah. And I think it was the highest quality version that was available to them. It was a very high quality version. I didn't sit and watch the whole thing back then, but I do remember streaming a little bit of it. But that's the only time that Lucasfilm has officially sanctioned a viewing of this, other than the original viewing.
That sounds like Wilbur Hood's theme a little bit.
Yeah, Dave, you'll be ecstatic to learn this. On StarWarsHolidaySpecial.com, if you go on multimedia, there's a downloadable MP3 of Light the Sky on Fire.
Oh. The sky on fire.
Tim?
As well as B. Arthur's song.
I will be doing that as soon as we're done recording, actually.
Oh, man.
This was fantastic. You just
if you had to rate it, Dave, 1 out of 5 stars.
Well, it would get a half, but I don't think you can look at it that way. You have to look at it the way Matt said. If it's just for
shits and giggles,
if it's just for like having a good time and taking the piss out of something that you like, it's a 5.
I was gonna say, if there is an opportunity where the 4 of us are together and it's around the holidays, I would not mind watching this again with you guys after we came back from a bar.
Oh boy, I'll have one
shirtless.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that.
I'm there either way. I don't care what time it is.
Well, it sounds like if they streamed this for a week on Star Wars, StarWars.com, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They must have it. I mean, if they did that, they have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
They got it. They got to get the stick out of their ass and have a sense of humor about your failures.
Look at Lumpy.
Yeah, I gotta imagine they learned a lot of what not to do in this.
Sure.
Is this why there was never like another one later on down the road? Probably.
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah, I mean, this was so horribly received.
When the first Robot Chicken Star Wars came out, George Lucas himself did promos for it as a Robot Chicken character, where he was on a therapist couch and it's like she's asking what's wrong with him. He's like, well, 30 years ago I let someone else take control of the Star Wars galaxy and it turned out horrible. I'm really concerned about this Robot Chicken thing. So even he is finally having some kind of sense of humor about it.
That's great, and that's what these guys got to do, and yeah. I respect anybody that does that. So I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, laugh at your mistakes.
You do. I mean, yeah, that's I would have blown my brains out years ago if I wasn't able to do that.
Oh, yes.
Are you ready for some trivia?
Trivia time.
Is a special Christmas or holiday special edition trivia?
Oh.
Yay, trivia.
Yeah, went up.
Yeah, you talk about these being hard. I could have come up with some really hard ones from the holiday special. No, these are straight out of the same source material.
Well, I am going to use the sound bite still for yes or no answers.
Okay,
please.
In going over the scores, Tim is still in the lead with 9.
Damn.
Followed behind by Chris with 8.
Where's your daddy?
Then Matt with 6. And I have 4.
I said I'll take it.
Okay, Chris, here you go. You're first.
I want some background. Go.
Your question is coming from A New Hope. A New Hope era.
Alrighty.
And your question is this: what creature evolved on the swamp world of Vodron and then escaped the planet in the hold of a space freighter spreading across the galaxy? What creature evolved on the swamp world of Vodron and then escaped the planet in the hold of a space freighter spreading across the galaxy?
Now, how are the choices?
Okay. Choices are at least things that you heard of.
Yeah.
Okay. So the choices are A, the dewback,
And you're saying this thing got sucked on a freighter?
It says what creature evolved on the swamp world of Vodran and then escaped the planet in the hold of a space freighter.
Okay.
And then it spread across the galaxy.
Okay.
A dewback. B, a crate dragon. C, a womp rat. Or D, Dianoga.
I'm going to say C, the womp rat, because this is what I'm saying here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, rats are like maybe near like nastiness, like swamps kind of maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's small enough to get on a freighter. I don't think it was no dragon hopped on a freighter.
Okay.
Freighter? Did I say freighter? I think I did. I'm gonna do C.
You're going C, womp rat.
Yes.
That is incorrect. The answer was the Dianoga.
Okay.
So that's probably what I would have picked.
Yeah, it lives in more of a swampy environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other three were, sandy, kind of Tatooine-y kind of creatures. Nice going, Chris.
All right, fucked up.
You had a chance to tie Tim. And you blew.
And you failed.
All right. Tim, it's your turn. Your question is coming from the Empire Strikes Back era.
All right.
And it is this. How did Han Solo discover that the Millennium Falcon wasn't in a cave?
You might say she did it by hand. Solo.
Chris is cracking himself
He
up.
shot the ground, and the ground shook as a result of him shooting it.
Okay. No.
So he shot the belly of the beast, I guess.
Okay.
That is my answer.
That is your answer. You're not doing multiple choice.
Nope.
And of course, Tim is correct.
Was that the exact wording of the answer?
Yes. Quote unquote.
The exact wording was he shot the ground while fighting off Minox.
Beast. Belly of the beast.
The other choices were funny. He stabbed the ground while fighting off Minox, stepped on a vein.
Which one?
He smelled stomach acid.
Chewbacca slipped on ice.
Wookie Yookies?
Tim, you pulled ahead here. Now you have 11.
Jesus Christ.
Fantastic. You guys are going to kill me.
All right, Matt, here you go.
All right.
You're coming out of a New Hope era as well.
Oh, okay.
And your question is this. What was wrong with R5D4?
He had a bad motivator.
You don't know where he is?
Correct.
He had a life coach that said, you can't do that.
With no multiple
you don't know
choice.
Where he is?
Wow, I'm doing pretty shitty now because Matt's an answer just like that.
Well, Matt has tied you with 8.
Oh, all right.
Tim's now ahead with 11, but that's 2 correct answers in a row without multiple choice.
All right, Dave. Dave knows spit.
All right.
He sounded like really intimidated there.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, Dave.
All right, Dave. You ready for yours?
Yeah. What era?
The Phantom Menace.
All right. This is bullshit already.
Yeah.
You guys got the regular ones, and I got to deal with this.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead.
Right, what is Ota Gunga made up of? OTOHGUNGA. Ota Gunga? Ata Gunga?
We had that in a question before.
Really?
I mean, not this question, but that phrase has come up in a question. I got to take the multiple choice. I don't even know what that is.
Well, they're all bubbles. It's a bubble. What kind of bubble? Ready?
Okay.
Transparasteel bubble, glass bubble, hydrostatic bubble, that's a good bubble, and plastisteel bubble.
Okay.
Here's some music so you can think.
A and C sounded more like something that was made up for, like a science fiction word. Like, what did you say the one was? It was glass or something?
Yeah, glass was B. Transparisteel is A. And C is hydrostatic. C.
All right. These things sound like this is where the Gungans lived, like underwater. Ugh, I hate this.
We are excited, aren't we?
I'm gonna go with A.
A.
Yes.
Incorrect.
What was it?
It was C.
No.
Yeah, it was C.
What was it? What was the word?
Hydrostatic bubbles.
All right. Well, at least it was something in a movie. I don't know that it's mentioned in the movie, but at least it's something from the movie. All right. I am getting my booty kicked in this big time. But at least I get to watch a Star Wars holiday special.
That's true. That is true.
Well, we'd like to thank you for listening to this special episode of the Star Wars Holiday Special for special people out there. Join us next time we discuss Ruse Tarpals.
Thanks for listening to Star Wars in Character. Star Wars in Character is part of the neozaz.com network of podcasts. For more great podcasts and original entertainment, please visit www.neozaz.com. Star Wars in Character is not affiliated with nor endorsed by Lucasfilm Limited or 20th Century Fox. Star Wars and all Star Wars universe characters, places, or Star Wars related items are the copyright of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. Visit www.swic.neozaz.com for the latest Star Wars in Character episodes and information.